It's Friday, it's your football fix, and we are talking about the Scottish Cup quarter-finals, namely Rangers St Johnstone. Alex Ray joins me from his sunny back garden. Alex, great to see you. And let's talk about Sunday's game. Obviously, Tavernier back in action, which is a great boost for the lads.
Yeah, without doubt. He has been pivotal this year. He has 17 goals, 13 assists. It's remarkable numbers for a fullback. He managed to get 60 minutes midweek. It was a perfect opportunity due to young Nathan Patterson incurring the ban after the appeal. So, you've got the captain back, and it brings the back four that's been so successful this season as well into the mixes. So, it's very strong Rangers backline.
What are your thoughts ahead of Sunday's game, Alex?
I think the one thing that was evident from Wednesday night's game was that St Johnstone won't lie down. They were on the front foot, and they showed a real purpose. They'll have belief, having lifted the League Cup earlier on in the season. So, I think they'll have to be professional. I'd expect wholesale changes as well. There were 7 in midweek. I'd expect all the key players, the Morelos, the Kents, Hollander to come back into the mix as well. So, as you said, I think Tavernier will most certainly start at right back.
Just going back to Nathan Patterson, Alex, it's obviously very timely that James Tavernier is back in action because he's still out. How impressed have you been with him, though? And do you think we could see James switch up positions to accommodate him going forward?
I think that'll be a dilemma for Steven Gerrard. What I do know is in terms of impressing, I think the boys kind of superseded all expectations. They have really big high hopes in at Murray Park and around the academy. He's a real one that's come out of that academy and really kind of grasped that opportunity. There's been guys over the last 10 years, but no one's really grasped that. And Patterson looks to be a real find. I think he's a future international. I would be surprised if Steve Clarke doesn't have a look at him in the next couple of friendlies, been played in Portugal as well. So I think Patterson's got a real bright future. In terms of moving position, I think that's a dilemma for Steven Gerrard. I've heard that over the piece when, you talk about Scotland with Robertson and Kieran Tierney. Can you play one slightly forward? I'm never quite comfortable with a right back moving into right midfield, and because of the way Rangers play with a narrow 3 midfield, I'm not sure that works. So it's going to be an issue for Steven Gerrard trying to get both players ample game time, because Tavernier's performances have been up there with the standout performers this campaign.
Arguably one of the more controversial weeks in football, Alex. I am, of course, talking about that failed European Super League. But off the back of that, it looks like a reform of the Premier League is on the cards, with Rangers and Celtic likely to be involved. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's fascinating on the back of the failed Super League, European Super League. So, it gets mentioned every couple of years that Rangers would be a good addition, Celtic down to England. I don't think there's been a real thirst for that from the English Premiership clubs, but there may well be a little bit of change. Even though the Super League hasn't quite been pulled off, I do see change. You look at Belgium and Holland as well. They're looking to kind of amalgamate the top teams out of that, 10 from Holland, 8 from Belgium. So they're trying things, there's coming together there. If they manage to pull that off, I can see something like this happening. The only way it could ever happen is if the clubs in Scotland and England voted for this. You just couldn't have teams going, we're walking out the league. I think it leaves such a bad feeling with things as well. So I feel as if it's going to be done right, it has to have the blessing of Scottish football and English football, so that when they get down there, then they can compensate with some of the financial package, so that, the rest of the teams in Scotland are not left behind, and they can flourish as well with the money that would be put into the game.
And it would need the backing of fans too.
Yeah, well, I can tell you one thing. I'm absolutely certain that the Rangers and Celtic fans would embrace going down to a big league like that. You imagine Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. It'd be mouth-watering, and with Rangers and Celtic at that table, it'd be frightening actually when you think about it. Because of the fan base, people were saying that would they survive in that environment? If you look at the monies that are actually floating about there with the Rangers and Celtic investing that type of money, I'm sure that they would catch up very quickly.
Well, the end of the season is approaching, and Rangers have it all wrapped up. Of course, Steven Gerrard has done a fantastic job. He's certainly showcased his managerial credentials. A job has just come up at Spurs, and he is on the radar of quite a few Premier League clubs now. How important is it for Rangers to hold on to him? And do you think he could be tempted down south?
Well, listen, this conversation has gone brilliantly until you've actually tried to get our manager to go down south. But it's a relevant question. I think the job that he's done up here has been remarkable. I think when you actually give someone a job, you have to take into a lot of factors: what kind of playing budget they have, transfer budget. And Celtic have had a superior one in recent years. And for him to overturn that in the kind of manner in which they've done, I think it's 21 points are currently clear of Celtic. Rangers are into the quarterfinals of the Scottish Cup as well. So the job he's done, and I'm sure it hasn't gone unnoticed, because Steven Gerrard as a brand, as a footballer, was like kind of across the globe. Now he's trying to build a reputation as a manager, and he has done that in abundance. You know, the style, the brand. You look at the last few years as well in Europe, which will be enticing for some of these big English clubs. I believe it's just a little bit too early for Steven Gerrard to get down there. I quite like the noises he's making as well. He says it's only the beginning, winning this, and I think a lot of the Rangers fans have bought into Steven Gerrard. The board have most certainly bought into him. They have backed him throughout the course of these 3 years, and they're going to have to do that going forward. He'll be looking for assurances and some backing again, like the board have done the previous transfer windows. And if they do that, I don't see Steven moving anywhere anytime soon.
Just finally, prediction for Sunday's game, Alex.
I fancy 3-0 Rangers. I think with all the key players back at Ibrox, the home form has been imperious this year. You know, it's 19 games, 19 wins, scoring goals for fun. So I think it'll be a comfortable win for Rangers at the weekend.